Well, for those of you who can actually drive your car into your garage, open the door and move around without stepping over stuff, go have a cup of coffee right now.
Yeah,
okay?
For everybody else, which is probably the majority, Helen recently found out how to declutter your garage once and for all.
Spring is here. It's time to get organized. So we brought in the queen of organization, Vicki Norris, with Restoring Order. And this time we're dealing with a garage, which is one of our... I tell you, everyone's got a garage where they just throw stuff, right?
They do. They do the step and toss, Helen. They step in and they toss what they don't know where else it should go.
Well, most people do that.
I know.
Let's take a look at the garage we're in right now, the before pictures. And the owner here did just that, stepped and tossed.
That's right. And, you know, there were so many projects to deal with inside the house that the garage was sort of their last frontier. And they just put everything in here that they didn't know what else to do with it. So we had a lot of accumulation, even trash and recycling that just needed to go but never got out.
All right. Now let's take a look at the after. Great work, Vicki. Absolutely terrific. You know, what's interesting is that you say they were able to get a car in here, but not much else because it was so packed. And now everything looks very organized. They're able to get a car in here and move around freely and be able to use their space efficiently, right?
Yeah, and they had storage, but it was in the middle of the room. They had a lot of good storage, but it just wasn't being used properly. And the main goal here was to restore safety to this garage because there wasn't clear floor space. And the homeowner has MS, so she has some physical challenges, and she uses a scooter and a walker to get around.
We're taking a look at the scooter right now, and a lot of folks, if you don't relate to the disability, what you can relate to is the stroller that you've got, whatever else you need to, you know, move around in your garage.
A lot of people have gear. This family happened to have, you know, some physical challenges, but we had to make room for that, and we had to give her a way to navigate in front of the car and around the garage.
All right, so one of the things you did was organize. You did group therapy, you call it.
That's right. Instead of just sending one consultant, we sent 3 of our Restoring Order consultants. We call that group therapy. It's a way to get through the pain faster.
All right, so how did you do it? Was it something goes to Goodwill, another box goes to the trash?
Well, actually, it's a discovery process. So we have one project manager and all the organizers work together. We get everything out of the garage because there was like items all over the place, and we had to get them together, reunite them.
Okay, and a lot of folks buy a lot of products, like let's talk about these storage units here, but they don't exactly know what to do. They just, again, do the step and toss, throw things in. But your big thing, Missy, is the labeling.
Yes, that's so important, Helen. And you know, you can have storage, but you can abuse it.
Yeah.
And so there was just kind of random things stashed wherever they fit in the storage. But here we purposed this for paint. So of course we gave it a label that said paint, and then we put the drop cloths and paint pans above that. So now it's real easy to get in and out of there.
Yeah, but you can do that with anything. You don't need to buy a storage unit like that.
That's right, and we didn't. That's another good point. We didn't buy any new storage. We actually repurposed everything they had.
Good idea. And let's take a look at the husband's tool drawer, which I love. You went nuts on the labeling, but again, a good idea because otherwise you're just throwing things into drawers.
Well, our consultant Rhonda was assigned to this project with the whole workbench and the tools, and she did. She went gangbusters here with all the labeling. So now, instead of having to open 12 drawers, the homeowner can just pull out exactly what he needs and actually use it here on his workbench.
Now the workbench, the incredible before and after on this one is just amazing. I can't believe this. He can actually use his workbench, but you say so many people have workbenches, but they don't really use them for workbenches.
That's right. Well, if you look at the before picture for the workbench area,
he didn't really work on it.
No, not so much, because it was piled knee deep. Yeah. And actually the workbench was against the back of the wall here, and he had just stuff piled up in front of it, so he could not even get to it. And so back here, once we actually moved the workbench to this wall, and we did that for a reason because we had to move the freezer in. Okay. So this all kind of became a deductive process. We knew we had to move the freezer so the scooter could go around the front of the van, but because we moved the freezer, the workbench had to move. Once we got the workbench in place, we moved the lights, and we installed this nice white pegboard to kind of bring some more light to this section, and we actually put all the tools that were accumulating on his surface up so that he had some workspace.
And what's great about this is that you can see it all. You know exactly where it is. Because, for instance, for me, this would work really well because I'm a visual person. I got to see it in front of me. Otherwise, I assume it's missing.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of people do. And it always cracks me up when people get storage and they say, I need a workbench. And I really drill them about that. Are you sure you need a workbench?
Or do you just want a place to throw your stuff?
Throw your groceries, throw your Goodwill donations. But this guy actually does use his workbench. So we respect restored order to it. Lights and outlets, extension cords, gloves, plumbing, all kinds of great things.
You mentioned briefly about how there were so many like items but spread all throughout the garage. And here you've got the jars in one place, you've got the vases in another, and making it easy access for her.
That's right. And this side that we just looked at was really the utility side of the garage. This was the household and a little bit of gardening. We always want to put gardening by the front, close to the exterior of the home so that you can grab and go with your pots and your soil.
I didn't think of that.
And then we actually put vases in here, which are not commonly found in garages, but we did that so that she can bring her walker down this ramp from the inside of the home, and she can come out here and get a vase and put flowers in her kitchen. So you also want to think about ease of access and ease of use when you're organizing a garage. It's very it's a unique process what each person stores in their garage.
Consider purpose, ease of access,
safety,
like objects, and thank you. And labels, never forget your labels.
That's right, you don't want to forget labeling. And a garage is a good thing to always do last, too. If you have multiple projects, I would recommend putting your garage project last, because once you've purposed the rest of your house, the garage begins to fall into place. And instead of having luggage and memorabilia in here, which don't belong in a garage, you actually end up with things that really do belong in the garage.
Good ideas. Vicki, thank you for restoring order once again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more of AM Northwest after this. We want to mention that Vicki's book is called Restoring Order. It's her new book out, Vicki Norris. And if you'd like to contact her, we're going to put the number on the screen, 503-625-5774, or go to our website at k2.com for a link to her website.
Your garage will look so much better.
Oh, yeah.